Hello and greetings, everyone. Welcome to our Cloud Lunch and Learn session. Today we have Tomasz as our guest, and we are going to talk all about how to secure your small business in an hour. So it's pretty exciting, and we are going to talk about those Entra ID, Intune, and Defender for endpoint type of services and how it could be possible to be done. So we have a very special guest, Tomasz. So Tomasz, welcome to our studio. Where are you joining from today?
Hello, guys. I'm joining you from Poland.
Great. So I know that in Poland you have very famous sausages and beer. So is it still continue that tradition, right?
Yes, we have very good beer here.
Awesome, awesome. Great. So I don't want to tease everyone here. Maybe you are hungry, so I don't want to tease you, but I want to thank everyone for being here. We had a few minutes late start to troubleshoot some technical issues, but we are back here. So we are without any overdue. I want to share the and give the all stage to Tomasz so he can start. So good luck, Tomasz. I'll be in the back and enjoy the session, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Tomasz Szulczewski. As I said, I live in Poland, and today I'm going to present you how to secure small business in an hour. Just a few words about myself. Uh, I work in IT for more than 25 years. I work with Microsoft 365 for more than 10 years. For the last 5 years or maybe more, I work with modern workplace and security. And I run website for my blog and business, but to be honest, I'm not active there. And if you want to get in touch, of course, you can use my LinkedIn profile, and the QR code is leading to this profile also. Okay, let's go to the topic. So today we are going to talk about small business security. Why? Most of the big companies has huge teams, big money to secure their business. In many cases, that's not the case in case of small businesses. But I would like to show you today that it's not a rocket science. It's something what can be done pretty fast in a very easy way. And this 1 hour is not a clickbait. I believe that most of the settings, of course, without testing or documentation, they can really be deployed in an hour. And those settings, when they're in place, can secure your business really in 99% from most common attack. Of course, if you are a very well-known company on the market and you have very important things, that could be different story. Then you can be targeted by much more sophisticated attacks. But those features protects you from most of attacks which you can see um, on the internet. But first thing which we have to talk is licensing. So Microsoft, as other vendors, requires some license, and big businesses can use E5 license, but most of this feature requires at least Microsoft Business Premium. What's important? Personally, I think that this is one of the best, or probably the best license which Microsoft has, because it has many features which can be useful and absolutely, in most cases, it could be absolutely enough. And Microsoft Business Premium can be used when your business is or company where you work has up to 300 employees. If it's more, unfortunately, you have to switch to enterprise. But still, I believe that that's one of the best licenses on the market, and I use this license in most of my client, in most of my project for small business. So highly recommended. Anyway, so if I should pick one thing to secure business, that could be definitely MFA. If someone is not aware what is MFA, long story short, password, as probably everybody knows already, are not secure as we can think. Even if it's 20 characters, still can be stolen somehow. And then MFA comes to play. MFA means that we use something else. We can use our biometric things. We can use text message. We can use a hard token. We can use authenticator apps. The thing is that to get access to something in addition to username and password, we need something else. And usually, bad people do not have access to our mobile application or our hard token. So even if somehow they get our password, the username, they don't have access to our authenticator or another solution which is displayed. What is important here when we implement MFA? Do not use text messages. There are attacks called SIM swap that could lead to the data leak. For example, one of the recent attacks in United States on the casino was accomplished by SIM swap attack. In general, someone replaced valid SIM card of existing company user and receive codes for MFA authentication. So in general, do not use text messages. Use, of course, Microsoft Authenticator, or for administrator or very, very high privilege account, use hard token like YubiKey. What is also important, MFA implementation reduce attacks vector about 99%, which is in general almost impossible for in most cases to get hacked when you have MFA in place. Why I'm talking about this? Many people could say that, okay, this is obvious. We all already know about this. Let me tell you that just a few weeks ago, I was doing an audit, security audit of the well-known software company on the market. The thing is that yes, they had MFA in place, but unfortunately, they also had to configure conditional access in the way that actually it didn't work, never. And those things were connected to users with global admin privilege, with security administrator, and so on. So this company actually didn't use MFA. And what is important here that some people complain that, okay, MFA implementation will make our work inconvenient and so on. But on the other hand, who will be responsible when the company get hacked? Not those who complain, but we as responsible people for the cybersecurity of the company. So MFA implementation is really crucial to secure our business. Now I will try to switch to something different, and I want to show you actually how it could be done in very, very easy way. How it can be done. Previously, setting up MFA, it was really, really complicated. Right now, when we have access to our tenant, we can use just ready-to-use template for conditional access. What is conditional access? Conditional access is something what force or check for some condition which we set up before someone can access our resources. It could be different kind of conditional access policy, but when you right now we are here in my developer tenant, and we are here in the conditional access policies, and now we have a button new policy from template. What does it mean? Microsoft, to make this process as easy as it possible, create some templates which make deployment or of MFA or any other settings policies really easy. Previously, it was manual work. You have to go to the Microsoft Learn, check all settings, and so on. Right now, you click the button, new policy from template, and we have secure foundation. All those policies here are the key for the security for securing your small business or big business or any kind of business that relies on Microsoft 365. Those policies here are the foundation of cybersecurity of your Microsoft 365 tenant. And also, as you can see, one of policies here, we have a MFA for admins and we have MFA for all users. And check this out, how easy it is. I can just select a policy, click review and create. I just select policy state to on. I will not go to create, but still in the production you will select on. You have users here, which are high privilege accounts, target all apps, and we have a grant access required multi-factor authentication. What does it mean for us? It means that if your user has any of these privileges in place, if you want access to any of those cloud apps, in general it means any cloud apps, you will be asked to perform multi-factor authentications. You will just press create button and you are ready to go. I will just press report only, so it will just create in report mode. But check this out. It took about, normally it will take a minute to create a policy. Of course, in normal way you have to make it some kind of test, but still, right now it can be excused as creating MFA policy. It requires a lot of time. No, right now it's really straightforward process which can be done from those templates, and all those templates here are very important and they are crucial for your security. So as you can see, it's very easy. Let me switch again to my presentation. Stop screen. I'm going to show again my window with my presentation. So as you can see, it was very easy, and MFA implementation is a first step to securing our small business. The thing is that MFA is great, but the real power comes with combination MFA with all those things. There are 4 things which are crucial, and when they are combined with MFA, they make a real difference. We talked already about conditional access policy as a tool which force that someone needs to perform MFA, but also could combine with make that you can use only devices which are managed by company, or you can use only application which are managed by company. and so on and so on. And for example, you can set up trusted location, which means that when you log in from the office, you don't need to perform MFA, and so on and so on and so on. What is also important here? PIM means privilege in identity management. What does it mean? One of the biggest mistakes which we can make is that our high privilege account is always active. So for example, if I log into my computer, my global admin account or security administrator account is already active. So if someone will steal my token or my session cookie, whatever, will get access to these privileges. So normally, before I will start work as a global admin, for example, I have to activate this privilege. It means that by default, when I start work, it's not active, which means that even somehow I will lose access to my account, the hacker will not get my user with this high role. So it's very important. Now the second thing is we already talked about conditional access policy. We talked already about privilege identity management or PIM. But what is LAPS? LAPS is a shortcut for local admin permissions. In general, it means that instead of static local administrator account, we use a password which is managed by the cloud by Intune, and it's when it's used, it will be replaced. With the new one. Again, let me show you how it looks like. So I will stop sharing this screen and I will share again to my virtual machine. And now let's go to my Intune console. So in case of labs, we have a few things we should consider. So first one, which is normally it's very easy to implement because we can just go to account protection and create a policy. Just a few clicks. And we are ready to go. We can just select all those default options, and that's it. We are ready to go. But of course, it's important here that we need to make some kind of improvements. So for example, what happened after authentication? So in general, we can set up an action that after we authenticate, this password will be deactivated by the system after 4 hours. You don't need to remember that you created a password. You get a password and you have to change it. No, the system will do it for you. I will show you my another policy. Okay, I will not show this policy, but because it doesn't work as expected. In general, this is something what already exists in place, and this is approach which is recommended. So there is no need to backup password to the Active Directory because we want that this password, after we use it, will just disappear. So there's no such need. Second thing, I do not use default administrator account. I created labs admin. It could be different kind of names, but it's recommended that it's not administrator, which is between password. Here we have how complex is the password, what is the password length, and after what time it will be reset and created the new one. Why I use the labs admin? Because the recommended approach here is that I will just show you how to do this. So we have something called remediation scripts. And first step is just to create an account, that local account. So in this detection script, I check if local user with the name labs admin exists or not. So if it doesn't exist, the system will create this account. At this moment, it's not administrator account. It's just a local standard user account. That's it. So that's the first step. In the next step, with this policy, we add this local user to administrator group. So I will just show you how to do this. So this is pretty new possibility, because previously it was complicated. Right now you have a very nice windows just to select and implement, and it's very easy because we just pick to which group, what kind of action we want to manual, and we just select a username which we just created in the previous action. So at the end of this, our labs admin become a local administrator, member of the local administrator group. And after that, with that, with a policy which we saw before, we will be able to check this username password and use it instead of administrator static password to, I don't know, perform some kind of administrative action on the end user computer. And when we finish, this password will be changed by the system. And what is also important, as you see, implementation of this feature again takes 10 minutes. That's it. And it's another step when you protect identity. What is also important, it's possible, but it's a little complicated, but it's possible. And there is a such setting in Intune that you can remove default administrator password. And in such case, after that, you will just have this account, which will be protected with labs. So as you can see, that was a very easy, straightforward, and again, very fast step. Again, let me switch back to my presentation. So labs implementation is an additional step which improve our security. Okay, we talk about this, and now we talk about the last thing which we should consider as a security thing. Windows Hello. Windows Hello is great. Most devices on the market, most laptops which we can buy, has a finger reader or camera with Windows Hello, or if we have an older device, we can still set up a pin. The only requirement to implement Windows Hello is to have TPM chip on board. But I assume that if someone buy Windows 11, it's required by default by the system that TPM chip is main requirement to install Windows 11 on board. Why Windows Hello? Because Windows Hello, first of all, implements and meets the requirement of MFA. It means that if we enable Windows Hello in our tenant, it means also that if user use it to log in, he perform MFA and meet MFA requirement. for the cloud resources. What is additional benefit? Windows Hello store his credential, keys, certificates locally in the TPM chip. It means that there is no sending out, entering password, and so on. No, everything is stored locally. So we do not enter, for example, our password, code password in the browser, which means that again we reduce possible attack on our identity. And this is how it works in general. Uh, there is no one magic thing uh, that make us secure. Sometimes you can hear that if you buy our solution, if you buy our application, you will be secure. That's not true. You can't be 100 secure. Maybe when you switch off your device and go offline, that's can make you somehow secure. But if you are connected to the internet, there is no perfect solution, and each of those small steps make you secure, and that's the way how you should proceed. So all those small steps, and again, I believe those steps, when we are ready to go, can be done in just, I don't know, 20-30 minutes. Of course, before we have to inform our users, make some tests, but still, the execution of those things, implementation of those things itself, deployment, is just a matter of 20-30 minutes. And the security level will be much more improved by this action. And what is also important, um, again, I will switch the screen. If you go to the Microsoft Entra, you have security score for identity. Of course, this one is very low because this is developer tenant, which I use for tests. It's pretty new. But normally, when you go here, you have to work on this score. Personally, I love those scores which Microsoft share. Later, I will show you different one, but this one is for the identity. The key is based on the main recommendations. Normally, probably we will not be able to get 100% because, for example, some of those recommendations requires E5 licenses or something else, but still keeping security score at 70%. This is something what is recommended for your security. So this is the main thing the first, I would say, this is the first thing for you to follow and check how you are doing in terms of the identity score. Let me. Okay, let's come back to the next possible steps. Now we will talk a little about Intune. Intune is the most useful tool which you can get. Personally, I'm huge fan of the Intune, and when I start a new project and when I want to check company configuration and what could be recommended, I set up, for example, a conditional access policy that verifies.
Hi, Tomasz. Can you make it a bit bigger, the slide? Because it shows very small. Um, if you can
Yes,
make it
I
a bit
can.
bigger, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll tell you if it looks better, once you do that change.
okay, just a second.
Make it bigger. Yeah, that's much
Yeah,
better than before.
okay,
See, a little bit bigger. So can you occupy the whole thing there? Yes, yes, like this.
okay.
Go, 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 go. One
Now,
more. Is it good?
okay,
Okay, this is much better. All right, thank you.
yes. I'm going to show this screen in the real environment, so I hope that it will be much better. But this one is actually when you set up this option, it will disappear. So that's why I use the print screen to show you. Anyway, what is important? In Intune? Intune give you full control over corporate devices. Personally, when I start a new project, I set up conditional access policy in the read mode to check how many devices which get access to the tenant is not corporate managed. And why it's important? Because if you have a devices that are managed by your end user and they can install whatever they want, they can do whatever they want, you are not the owner of those devices. Users are, but you are not. And the Intune is a tool, is a main tool. Personally, I use that's the main tool in this set to keep you secure, because MFA and the conditional access policy protects your identity, but we have also devices, and they needs also be protected, and Intune do the thing. So first thing when you get Intune, and you should do, and it's very easy, straightforward, is to enable connection with Defender for Endpoint. Defender for Endpoint is the tool that it's Microsoft antivirus in general, in very short description. And when you enable this connection by default and set up it properly, uh, all devices can be onboarded to the Defender. This is another straightforward process which just takes a few minutes, and I will show you later how to do this. But this screen, when you make this connection, is visible only just once. So now I will just switch up to the different window. What is important here that mm, okay, so this is Defender for Endpoint in different tenants. But how to make this enrollment? When you go to this is very straightforward process, but here you have settings, onboarding, and now you have deployment method. You can use just Intune. You will get a package which you can use it and deploy to all company devices. This is another example, as I already said, that it just take 5 minutes to do that. But when you have all devices in Intune, this one will take 5 minutes, and after that, the magic will start. Because after connecting all your devices to Defender for Endpoint, even with the small business premium license, you will get so many things. You will become aware of everything, because we have endpoints here. Any device which you have in your tenant and any device which is connected will be visible here as an asset. For any device, of course, as it's my test environment, there is no many devices, too many devices, but you will get everything what is important. So I know the name, IPs, status of the device, system version, but also when I go to such device, I will get security recommendations. So I can see, I can check everything what is important. And all those recommendations are combined into the report. So for example, again, we have here just two devices, but if you have tenant, for example, that you have 300 devices, you will see from the most important security improvement to less. And each implementation, each improvement will improve your score. When we are here, we see the report which provide us basic information. Personally, from the security point of view, this one, Microsoft Secure Score, is one of the most important thing to follow, to watch, and to check almost every day. We have four different kind of categories. Identity, which we already discussed. We have data, which we are not going to discuss because it's another big topic. But we have device and apps. Device can be in device identity score can be improved with Intune, and apps could be also improved with Intune and Defender with applying recommended configuration, as also with deploying updates. How it works in general. So we have, for example, recommendation here. We will just click on the first one, and we get description and remediation. And also we get information about exposed device. Remediation is the step-by-step manual what to do to improve the score, how to address such vulnerability. Mostly you will see here at the beginning at this recommendation for attack surface reduction policies, or block JavaScript. This is another one recommendation with the attack surface reduction. What I'm trying to say that when we connect all devices to the Defender, we will get all this information. We will get information about any single device which are connected to the Defender. That's why it's crucial that any corporate devices will be managed by Defender and Intune. And also, it's also, and by default, we can configure this, that any new device which will become owned by corporate company will be also automatically behind scenes enrolled into Defender and to Intune. And of course, it's absolutely possible, but it's another topic. But what I'm trying to say that enrollment to the Defender, it will take another 10 minutes, and it's straightforward, and actually it's not it doesn't require too much test because it's a pretty straightforward process, and usually it works without any problems in terms of endpoint devices. But after that, you have so many data, so many information, and you can just need to do what is important here in settings. You have endpoints here. So you can set up different kind of information, and you can see if your device was properly onboarded. And then we have Defender XDR, when we can set up notification and other things. What I'm trying to show you, advanced features. Okay, it's loading. Some features which you can see here are disabled. So one of the actions to do, and again, it's simple, short, and fast, to enable those settings. I'm not going to discuss this into details. If someone is interested, you can get in touch with me. But at the end, you get pretty good security solution from Microsoft. What is important here? In business premium license, you have auto remediation turned on by default, and also right now in the new tenants, even if you have a E3 or E5 licenses, Microsoft turn on auto remediation by default. You can create your own device group to do that, but right now by default it's turned on. So the only thing which make a big difference is just to enroll all devices to the Defender, and you are ready to go. And again, that's make a difference. What is important? Personally, I think that some time ago I wasn't a big fan of Microsoft solutions, cybersecurity solutions, but I see so much big improvement on their in their solution applications. Again, 5 years ago, it didn't work as expected for me. Right now, most of my actually all my implementation, all my projects fully rely on Microsoft stack because it just works, and the implementation it's much easier because it's just connected. You just connect some APIs or some settings, grant permission, whatever, you have a license, you are ready to go. When you have third-party solutions, it's much more challenging. You need much more resources. Sometimes some solutions maybe are somehow better, but still uh, it takes time. When you use Microsoft solutions, you just need a license. And again, as I said, in case of business premium for small business, it's a perfect solution because this is exactly what business premium could give your tenant. Also, you will see here, just as a heads up, some information about current threats and so on. One more thing which I have to mention, that though this score is constantly updated and every day it's changing, and every day those recommendations here will also change, because any new vulnerability, any new threats or attacks will be reflected here and update your and will be updated based on your current environment, on your current environment configuration. So for example, if you install something new and this app is vulnerable, it will be reflected here. So, and if you have outdated software, it will be reflected here. So when you work as a cybersecurity guy, that's your main tool, because you're every day you go here and check your cybersecurity posture. What is recommendation? Because this is work in progress. There is no the state that okay, I'm good. There is nothing for me to do. No, that's not right. Because every day probably you have to do something else. So this is work in progress. This is what we are supposed to do. Okay, let's come back to my presentation. Okay, my cards got crazy, but I'm sorry for that. Let's go to the presentation. So this screen shows us how to turn on connection between Intune and Defender. And the last thing which I want to show you is security baselines. What is security baseline? Security baseline is a predefined set of recommended settings. It's very powerful, very easy to implement, but somehow it could be also challenging. So let's switch to my virtual machine, and I will show you. Okay, where is it? So we are again here in Intune. We have endpoint security, and we have security baselines. What is security baseline? Security baselines is a group of all recommended settings for your devices, for your application, for uh, for your for your environment. So the first one is Windows and later Windows 10 and later. What is it? I will just show you. So when we create a security baseline, we have all settings. I will just show you in details what I'm talking about. Okay, it's frozen a little. Okay, and now it's okay. So come on, Microsoft. Check this out. We have so many settings that are recommended by Microsoft to put them in place. There's, check this out. It's everything. It's not only application, but for example, here we have ISR rules. We have browser auditing, everything. What is the biggest problem with security baseline? They are not okay. We can make them available to our environment in just few clicks, because we can just create such profile and we can just deploy to all corporate devices. The problem is that those settings are very strict, really, and based on my experience, in most cases they require some tweaking, some improvement, some exceptions. So you have to be very careful with those settings, because if you deploy this without any test or any verification, you can block your company. I mean, of course, you still can work on the Windows devices, but many services, many third-party application settings could stop working. So this is something that is recommended, and it's constantly updated. I will just show you something, because this is the current version of baseline. With Microsoft updates this configuration constantly. So every few months, this configuration will be updated to the most recommended setting. Again, we can just deploy this configuration. I will just show you how to do this, because I can just select baseline, create profile, security baseline for Windows 10, and later I will just enter policy name. It just will take a moment. I will press next. I could select all device, and I can press next and deploy, and that's it. The problem here that, again, those settings are very strict, and in most cases, in most environments, they require some tweaking. But if your environment is straightforward, I mean, if you have just Windows 10 with Office on board and, I don't know, a browser, let's say you use Edge, and that's all, that could work. And those settings are very strict, and very secure, and definitely they will make a difference. Again, highly recommend that you will test them before deployment, because you can get harm. A few things here. We have recommended configuration also for Defender for browser We are talking, unfortunately, only about the edge. If you have a Windows 365 on board, you can use security baseline also for it. And we have baseline for the Microsoft 365 application. And that's it. All those settings, I highly recommend it. All those settings are very strict and require testing. All those settings can be deployed in just a few minutes, and still we can do it in an hour. The last thing which I'm going to show you is data protection. And this is something what uh, people forget. And this is important. Okay, this is not here. So let me switch the window. Okay, so the last thing which I'm going to show you is backup, data backup. By default, when you have your users in the corporate environment, there is no backup. Some time ago, it was required that you need to buy some local storage or external disk or something like that. If you work in the cloud, Microsoft Cloud, you can easily use OneDrive as your backup solution. Personally, I use this solution in almost every corporate environment which I was working on. And again, this is another example of something what could be deployed very, very easily. So some of the settings has changed some time ago, and they are changing, and they're trying to fit to the current version of OneDrive, because OneDrive also is changing. So it's important that we will use template which is properly set up for our version of OneDrive. But in general, what I'm trying to show you is that you need just a few settings to make your environment secure. Not environment, your users and users data. What these settings do? Behind scenes, when user login, these settings will try to sign in logged user to OneDrive and redirect desktop, my documents, and pictures to the cloud, to the OneDrive. In the result, anything what our user will create on and put on desktop or my documents will be also safely saved to Microsoft Cloud, to OneDrive. What does it mean for us? If we get hacked, if a device will be stolen, we just give our user a new device. User just log in. This policy will be started again and deployed on the new device, and all files, all documents which we store already safely in OneDrive will be downloaded to a new device. And this process, and what is important, this process does not require that we have to click something, that we need to do manual copy paste. No, if a user will create something on desktop or my documents, it automatically will be saved to the cloud. Very easy, very straightforward process, and very easy to implement. And just as a summary, the idea of modern workplace means that all those things works with very low amount of administrative efforts. Of course, there are things that will still require our attention, like changing cybersecurity problems or new cybersecurity problems. That, of course. But for example, endpoint management, in many areas will be done behind scenes by the system, by Intune, by Defender. And that's the magic that, for example, how it works. As an example, we have a new user. I don't know, I live in Poland, but I have a user in, I don't know, United States. I will just send him a new device. User just connect new device to the internet, enter username, password, set up MFA, and we'll get all those things, all those configuration which we were talking about today to his device. Based on my experience, usually it could take about, let's say, 2 hours. After 2 hours, end user device is set up, secure, and connected to our resources, and properly protected from most of the threats. Again, as a summary, most of the things it's not rocket science. They can be deployed in an hour, and in most cases, they will protect you from most threats which you can face today. That's it. So I will just stop sharing my screen. I will just share again the presentation because I assume that was the last one slide. Yes, this is the one. This is OneDrive configuration. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thank you, everyone. That was a pleasure.
Thank you, Tomasz, for presentation and switching back to demo the things. There was some back and forth on the chat. They say that it's a good combination here that you are showing. So best to keep an active review of each tenant. Yeah, so there's like this response from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for showing. So there's like this comment from Andrew saying, thank you, Tomasz. So the best is to keep an active review of each tenant. That's the question. So what do you think?
Uh, yes. So first of all, that's why the Defender is the key here, because Defender gives you. It's very hard to follow what's going on the market. Really, it's every day it's new thing. When you go to the Defender, and you have all. That's why all devices should be in Intune and in the Defender. You go there, and you will get recommendation for your environment. And security score and identity score are the best friends. Uh, I'm not talking about advanced solutions like Sentinel and other things. I'm talking about the scenario for small business. You are a small company, you have small resources, so you have to use them as much as I can. Business Premium make a difference, and again, it protects you from most of the threats on the market right now. Not all, but most of them.
Yes. And with secure score, it's not always about getting to that 100%, right? It's about what makes sense for your company, right? Otherwise, you
No,
can.
it's not possible
Yes, go ahead.
because first of all, because
Yes.
uh, Microsoft those day force you to buy more and more. So to get 100, I'm not sure if it's possible at all, but at least in some case, at least get higher, you need E5 license. For example, there is a new feature. It's add-on in Intune called Intune Suite.
Mhm.
Personally, I love this feature, but when I need to go to my manager, I'm not going to ask him because I already buy you those license. Why you want more? Of
Correct.
course, it's very nice to have this because you have remote access and so on. But again, you need to pay. That's why it's not possible to get 100%.
Right.
But with Business Premium, you can really do very very well.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
never
So
get hacked.
correct. And you need to justify the price as well, right? So it's like you put the things, and plus it depends on the budget of that project that you are delivering, right? So you can't run over the budget. So, but in those cases, Tomasz, where you cannot have a budget or something, do you document the risk? How you deal with that situation? Because everybody will face with that, where they wanna add some more things to get higher security or better protection, better visibility, but budget doesn't allow. So at that point, what was your experience? How you were dealing with those situations?
I will tell you something. Some time ago, there was a case in US when the public company get hacked. This company that provide water to America, in US,
Okay,
and I think that was the first time when a person responsible for
security.
cybersecurity get charged
Yes.
because external auditors found out that this person didn't follow recommendations. So, for example, so personally, if someone asks me to, okay, we don't need this or we can't do this, I need a document that force me to do that.
Right.
Personally, I I'm not going to work on this because I can't be responsible because it's something.
It's a
It's
big risk. Yeah.
too big a risk, exactly.
Yeah.
And this recent case with the CrowdStrike, personally, I think that it's going to change. I mean, right now, those vendors or other oh, and IT people, okay, we can't be responsible because of its incident and whatever. I think
Yes.
it's going to change.
Okay.
Companies,
Great.
IT
Yeah.
guys will be responsible for
It's like,
the
yeah,
for the
it happened
incidents.
with the Uber as well. I believe before they hacked, they didn't have a budget for security, but after getting hacked and into news, they, have the 2025 new positions open for cybersecurity and SOC on their website. So it's kind of,
But
aftermath that they're catching. But as you mentioned, like as a responsible person for managing the secure posture of the company and the product that you offer to the customers, you know as the technical people, we need to be aware about those risks, and document and make sure that whoever managed the project, those people are also aware and they sign off on the risk. Or I don't know if it's a customer that doesn't want to pay for that feature because out of budget, they need to acknowledge that risk. That way, at least certain things are covered, so to speak. Bases are covered. And
uh,
yeah, and yeah, go
personally,
ahead.
I think that you don't need the most expensive because
Correct.
you can spend millions dollars and buy new stuff, new things, and it's always something else. In most cases, proper implementation, the solution like this, which I just presented,
Hmm.
will be absolutely enough. And when
Yes.
someone asks me, oh, because we are a small company, we we don't worry about it. We don't care actually. Do simple math. How much money you are going to lose when you have to go offline for 2 weeks or a month?
Yes.
Let's say it's simple math
Right.
and do calculation, and that's your budget. Let's say at the beginning.
Hmm. Right. Yes. So again, thank you very much, Tomasz,
Thank
bringing
you.
this very
My pleasure.
important, topic and presenting on that. Is there any go backs, any references to to people who are watching our session now and they are going to watch later on the recording? Any recommendation, any references where they need to check certain things, reference documentation and things that you
Many
want
of
them
those
to look?
things are on my blog. If
Yes.
someone wants to discuss something, my LinkedIn is open as always.
So can you show your blog URL or where it is
Yes,
before we
I
say it?
also get invited to this session via LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yeah, so usually it
All right,
works.
cool. So yeah, if you drop that in the chat here in comments or private chat, I will share that with everyone here, or with everyone who is watching now, and they would be able to see that after the session is ended. But thank you very much again for your presentation.
Thank you.
And once you put that blog or links that you want to share, I will share them on the comments. And thank you everyone who dedicated portion of your day, portion of your evening, depending where you are, to this session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day, and thank you,
Thank you.
Tomasz.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Mhm.